Good afternoon to everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Doctor.
All right, let's do a recap of what we did 2
Afternoon.
weeks ago. What did you take home? Priscilla Jeubafo, do you have something to tell us? That you have unmuted yourself. Do you have something to tell us? What did you take home? Well, if we didn't learn anything, where did we reach? So we can move on. Where did we reach the last time? Yes, Millicent. Yes, Millicent, your hand is...
Please, we got to management of communicable disease outbreak.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this afternoon, so the last time we talked about communicable disease and we said that it is due to a specific infectious agent or its toxic products, which arises through transmission of these agents or the toxic products from an infected person to a susceptible host, either directly or indirectly. That is communicable disease. And then we said that for a disease to be called communicable, it must have an infectious agent, the transmission process, and the host. And then we said that when the infectious agent enters into the system of the individual, there should be multiplication and addition of the agents. And then there is inapparent infection, mild disease, severe disease, and sometimes, if care is not taken, the person might lose their life. And then we also talked about detecting an outbreak of a communicable disease. And we said that when someone notices an excess of a case, the person comparing that with everyday knowledge to determine what is common, rigorous investigation starts. And with the rigorous investigation, the purpose is to identify the causes and the best means to control it. And then we said that when you verify, you get into the investigations, you should verify the diagnosis by clinical and laboratory study. And with the clinical one, you need a case definition, and this definition can either, you should have a minimum and a maximum case definition. Then you identify the common events, and then you delineate the group. And then you take an individual epidemiologic history. Now, there is an outbreak of a communicable disease. How do you manage it? It involves three things. You treat the cases, you prevent the further spread of the disease, and you monitor the effects of the control measures. When we say you are treating the cases, who are the cases? The cases are, I think we finished this one, but you let me go on. The cases are those that have been suspected using administration to another network quickly. Okay, thank God I have a successful switch. Yes, Ghana. All right, so the cases are the suspected and the confirmed. The suspected are the ones that we have used the case definition on them, the clinical symptoms. And then the confirmed are the ones that we have done laboratory investigations, and then it has come out that, yes, they have the disease. And so when you are treating the cases, you use the recommended treatment guidelines that is available in the health facility. Then you come to the second aspect of it, where you prevent the further spread of the disease. And in this approach, the first thing you do is that you have to notify. You have to notify the communities and the world that there is a suspected outbreak of an infectious disease or a communicable disease. Then you create awareness And this one, the message is based on the primary prevention. Remember, we've already done levels of prevention. So you tell community members about the existence of that communicable disease, the clinical signs and symptoms using the minimum case definition, and then where to go when they see the signs and symptoms. Then we have the isolation, and the isolation are people. The isolation are people who are the cases. So you isolate the confirmed and the suspected cases. Then you quarantine those that have come into contact with the suspected and the confirmed cases. And these are the difficult people to measure in any communicable disease outbreak. You quarantine them until the incubation period is over, and then you do primary and secondary interventional education. You design the educational messages to break the transmission process to control the spread. You also do contact tracing to get more, and if there is vaccination available, you also do mass vaccination. And then you monitor the effects of the control measures. When we say you are monitoring the effects of the control measures, we are looking at a situation where all the measures that you have put in place, you evaluate them. Then you evaluate them, you monitor, you supervise, and then you mount surveillance. You can do sentinel surveillance, you can do passive surveillance, or active surveillance. And so how do we control communicable disease? We control it by breaking the transmission process. We need to break the transmission process. And then we analyze the outbreak. And the three most important things that is important to every epidemiologist when it comes to outbreak is analyzing it based on time, place, and person. Any questions at this point? Any questions, any clarifications at this point? Any questions at this point? Any questions at this point? All right, if there are no questions, then let's look at study designs. Let's talk about study designs, still in Unit 5. Still in Unit 5. We are talking about study designs. What are they? What are study designs? When you talk of study designs in epidemiology, we are looking at two different studies. We have what we call the observational study and what we call the experimental study. We have two study designs. We have the observational study and the experimental study. What are observational studies? The observational studies are studies that allow nature to take its course. What happens is that in these types of studies, you do not tamper with anything, you do not change anything, but you observe certain things. So when somebody says that I am looking at barriers to early initiation of antenatal care, it is an observational study. And observational studies can be divided into three major groups. We have what we call the cross-sectional studies, we have what we call the case control studies, and then we have what we call the cohort studies. One will ask, what is a cross-sectional study? These are studies that are carried out at one point in time or within a short period of time. These studies measure what we call the prevalence of a disease. And so sometimes it is also called a prevalence study. And these cross-sectional studies normally measures exposures and effects at the same time. What are some of the strengths of a cross-sectional study? It is a convenient first step in an investigation with regards to causes into certain outbreak of diseases. It is quick and cheap. It is easy to carry out. It is straightforward to analyze. And then data from cross-sectional studies helps in assessing healthcare. However, it is not easy to assign reasons for association, and also sometimes because of the way the study is conducted, comparisons of morbidity and utilization can be hindered. Then we have what we call a case control study, and this study investigates an association between a certain factor and a particular disease. Sampling is normally taken, or the respondents are based on the disease status. And then the outcome is normally compared between the cases and the controls. It looks backwards to a disease, the cause of a disease. So it is also called a retrospective study. Case control studies are appropriate for uncommon diseases. And when you measure or when you conduct a case control study, you use what we call the odds ratio to do the calculation. Then, what are the strengths? It is also simple, cheap, and quick, and easy to carry out, and it leads to a measure of relative incidence of a disease. However, it is difficult to select controls because you are selecting controls based on the disease and not on whether they have been exposed or not. And it is also not suitable if the disease affects the risk factor of interest and also a consequence. And then we have what we call the cohort study, which is also involves the follow-up of people who are free from a disease, but they are exposed to factors that gives them the disease. So they begin with people who do not have a disease, and follow them up until the people get the disease at some point. It is also called follow-up study or an incidence study. One of its strengths is that it provides the best information about the cause of a disease and also measures the risk of developing a disease. However, it is expensive and costly, and it also requires a long period of follow-up. Any questions at this point? All right, Serena, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Doctor, please, the cohort, you said you follow up when you know that the person is exposed to that condition. I mean, you follow up till the person gets the disease. If that is so, why won't you prevent or solve what will make the person get the disease? Or I don't know how to do that.
You are doing research. I believe you did research methods in the first semester. So when we say study designs, we are talking about research. Okay. So your research method that you did, you realize that when you get to level 400, and then you are writing your project work. In the methodology chapter 3, you realize that you will see study design. That is where you will tell me whether your study is a cross-sectional study, or whether your study is a descriptive study, or whether your study is blah, blah, blah study. And so when we say somebody is doing a cohort study, for example, there is a hypothesis that pregnant women with a history of hypertension who develop pregnancy-induced hypertension at some point in time in their pregnancy journey. So if you are conducting a cohort study, you gather all these people that have hypertension, but they don't have PIH. So what you do is that you will follow these people up right from their first trimester of pregnancy to, let's say, 6 weeks of delivery to make sure that, so you are following them up. The reason why you are following them up is that you have heard that if you have a history of hypertension, you stand a chance of getting PIH. So you want to conduct this study called cohort study to determine whether a significant number of pregnant women with that history will get PIH. For you to now say that, yes, I know that when a woman has a history of hypertension, they would develop PIH in their second trimester. So it's not about why don't you prevent it? No, you are conducting a study. Remember that when we talked about epidemiology, we said that it is the study of events, health events, and the application of the study to control. So you need to do this, conduct some of these studies to be sure that this is the direct cause of this, and then you can find solutions to them. So that is it. It's a study, a cohort study, where we follow people who are disease-free but are exposed to a risk factor. I hope I hope you are okay. Okay, thank you. Any other? So these are the observational studies. We have the cross-sectional studies, we have the case control studies, and then we have the cohort study. Now we have what we call the experimental study. We have what we call the experimental study. And the experimental studies are studies that involve an attempt. It involves an attempt to change a variable in one or more groups of people. And with these kinds of studies, ethical considerations are very paramount or very important in those studies, because you are going to change something. Even though with the observational studies, you need to get ethical approvals, with the experimental studies, it is high. And types of experimental studies include what you call the randomized control trials, the field trials, and the community trials. What is a randomized controlled trial? When we say a study is a randomized controlled trial, we are using that study to study a new preventive or therapeutic regimen, like the Ebola vaccines that they wanted to test here. It would have been a randomized control trial because they wanted to test the preventive drug for Ebola. And so here, the subjects are randomly allocated to groups, and the groups are classified as treatment and control groups. The treatment groups will be receiving the new preventive regimen or the new therapeutic regimen that they want to try or want to experiment. And the controlled groups will be receiving water, which we call placebo. And when you are conducting such a study, you should have a homogeneous people. That is, the people that you are going to use for the study must meet specific criteria. And we have types of randomized control trial. We have the single-blinded control trial and the double-blinded. The single-blinded control trial, it is the recipient or the subject or the respondent who doesn't know what they are receiving. That is called the single. With the double-blinded trial, both the researcher plus the respondents do not know whether they are the treatment group or the control group. Then we have what we call the field trials. These people are also people who are not having any disease, but we see them as having risk. An example is like those living in Tontokrum. They don't have Bruley ulcer, but they are exposed to the risk factor that can give them Bruley ulcer. So what we basically do is that you go to the field to collect specimen for the laboratory, so that you will determine and then see what you can do. Then we have what we call the community trials. And these ones, normally, when you are conducting a community trial, you should, the disease that have their origins in social conditions, which are also influenced by interventions, can be looked at. And this one involves the community. Field trial involves individuals. Community trials involves the community. So if we think that the Kenyans that we are there, we have people that are obese, obesity, we can gather these people and then can gather these people and intervene, maybe plan meals for them, give them meals and all sorts of things to ensure that we intervene. The challenge here is that sometimes you are dealing with Kenyase and people will be bringing people from Biase to pretend that they are part of the program. Any questions at this point? 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 I believe you have seen, I think, your slides, Unit 2 and 3. Unit 2 and 3 on the V class. Yeah, so at least it's left with Unit 4. I think at some point I was running late, going somewhere, so I didn't add. I will add it. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? I believe you are quiet because you've also seen your first semester results. The final years were crying. And maybe you, the third years, you are laughing. All right. So still in Unit 5, we are coming to do a little bit of calculations. We are coming to measure diseases. We are coming to measure diseases, measuring disease frequencies. As for epidemiologists, they believe in comparison. They believe in comparing health experiences between population, and most of the time they express them in the form of a rate. In English, we say that a rate is a number of times something occurs. And rates, when you talk of rates, we have 3 types of rates. We have the crude rates, we have the specific rates, and we have the adjusted rates. Now, when we talk of crude rates, they are summary rates, and their calculation include the total population over a specific or a period of time. Then when we talk of specific rates, we refer to the calculations of specific characteristics of a population. An example can be age-specific rate, gender-specific rate, ethnicity-specific rate, and they usually refer to a specific segment of a population. Mathematically, rate is the number of deaths. It can be disease events, so it can be deaths, it can be disease, etc., in a specified period, divided by the population at risk of experiencing the event during that period times n. So the total population normally is the steady population. The multiplier, which is the n, can be 10, it can be 100, it can be 1,000, or it can be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, depending on the study population. That is it. So we have what we call the prevalence rate. You heard me saying that the cross-sectional study is also known as the prevalence rate. And when we talk of prevalence rate, it is concerned with quantifying existing cases. That is the number of cases in a defined population at a specific point in time. Now, you are at the ANC. You are the ANC. And when you talk of, let's say, prevalence of pregnancy-induced hypertension, we are talking about the people that have been diagnosed, the pregnant women that has been diagnosed as having PIH. That is the prevalence rate. Now, the prevalence rate, we can measure it either at a single point, where we call it point prevalence, or over a period of time, which is called period prevalence. When you calculate the prevalence rate, you can express it as a percentage, or when the population is small, you can say per thousand. The per is not English, it is slash. It is slash. So the formula for calculating the prevalence rate is the number of diseased persons at a specific point in time divided by the total population. So when we want to calculate the point prevalence, is the number of persons with disease at a particular point in time divided by the total population times n. And I've already told you that the n can be 10, 100. If you want to multiply it, if you want to write your answer in a percentage, then you will have to multiply it by 100. If the total population is in thousands, and you don't want to multiply it by percentage, you don't want your answer in percentage, but you want your answer in per thousand, then the n will be 1,000. Now, the period prevalence is number of persons with disease sometime during a specific period divided by population at midpoint of interval. So it means that when you are given a total population, you have to look for the midpoint interval so as to be able to calculate the period prevalence. Then we come to what we call the incidence rate. The incidence rate quantifies the occurrence of new cases in a population. So if still at the ANC, somebody comes in and then the first time you diagnose the person as having PIH, it is incidence rate. And like the prevalence, we have two different ways of defining the incidence. We have what we call the incidence risk and what we call the incidence rate. And the incidence risk is the probability that a person who is initially free from the disease develops it during some time, during the period of observation. Normally, it is also expressed as a percentage, or when the number is small, it is per 1,000. When it is a percentage, it can never be 100 because it is a probability. So it cannot be more than 1 or 100%. You calculate it by looking at the number of new cases in a calendar year divided by the population at risk. Then we have what we call the incidence rate, and this one is the rate of contracting the disease among those that are still at risk. And this is how it is calculated. It is the number of new cases in a calendar year divided by the mid-year population at risk. Mid-year population at risk. And then examples. We are looking at examples of common rates, and these are rates that are of importance to you, the midwife, the birth rate. And so the birth rate is the number of births in a year divided by mid-year population times 1,000. The crude death rate is total number of deaths during a specified year divided by total population in the year times N. And the fertility rate is number of live births within a year divided by number of women who are aged 15 to 44 years during the midpoint of the year times 1,000. These are the formulas. Then infant mortality rate. It is the number of deaths less than 1 year of age in a given year divided by the total number, or divided by the number of live births in a year times 1,000. And the infant mortality tells us about the risk that a child will die before his or her first birthday. Then we have neonatal mortality rate. These are number of infants dead under 28 days of age divided by number of live births times 1,000 live births during the year. Some of these things you still meet it at community midwifery, so take it serious in epidemiology. Then as midwives, we need to also calculate maternal mortality. But before we calculate maternal mortality, we should know the numerator and the denominator. And then with the numerator, maternal mortality is the death of a woman whilst pregnant or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy, irrespective of the duration and site of the pregnancy, from any cause related to or aggravated by the pregnancy or its management, but not from accidental or incidental causes. This definition is from the World Health Organization. Now, the population at risk should have been pregnant women, but most of the time, pregnant women are not known, especially early pregnancies. So instead of using women who have been pregnant as the denominator is number of live births. And so maternal mortality becomes a ratio and not a rate, because maternal mortality is not a proportion. So in calculating MMR, it is the death of pregnant woman or within 42 days of termination of pregnancy, divided by total number of live births times 100,000. Maternal mortality is calculated per 100,000, and it is also, the answer is in 100,000, which means that when you take 100,000 live births, so and so will lose their life as a result of maternal mortality. And then the last one I want to talk about is case fatality rate. When there is an outbreak of a communicable disease, we want to calculate the number of people that are dying so that we can know the survival rate. And so the case fatality is number of deaths from a disease in a given period divided by the number of diagnosed cases of that same disease in that same period times 100. and case fatality is expressed as a percentage. Any questions at this point? Case fatality is expressed as a percentage. Any questions at this point? Any questions at this point? Any questions at this point? Any questions? Any contributions? All right, so if there are no questions, then let's move on to Unit 6, the very last unit. Unit 6. Any questions? Stretch yourself a bit. And Millicent, what kind of examples are you looking for? The class is very cold, so I am also giving you a taste of your own medicine. Realize that I'm lecturing, strictly lecturing. Then I came and I asked you what you took home. Since you have not been learning, let's do the needful and move. I will put some trial questions there for you to try your hands on, and then we can discuss. I have a lot of questions, but this afternoon, either you are tired or you people are hungry, or some of you are brooding over your first university examination results. Whatever it is, you are dull. You have become dull. I don't know what is wrong with you. I also don't know whether you've started your mid-semester examinations as well. As for students, they are afraid of exams. So whether it is mid-semester, end of semester, or test, they are afraid. And the funny and interesting thing is that we have few weeks. It's so few. Today is 14th. We have 21st and 28th to wrap up. The rest is Easter. When you finish the Easter and you come back, it is exams week. So I understand. And I also know that some people were also not able to submit their first assignment. So they have lost some marks there. There will be a second one for a second chance. And before we exit here, there will be a group presentation. This group thing that people have deferred, that anytime you mention group, some people will be coming to be writing things for you as if you don't have patience. It will come off. So, what is health promotion? When you hear health promotion, what comes into your mind? I know it's in your curriculum. What comes into your mind when you hear health promotion? What comes to mind when you hear health promotion? This is Kumasi Center. What comes to mind when you hear health promotion? Yes, Beatrice.
Okay, Doc, please, when you talk about health promotion, in my understanding, it is taking good care of your health, making sure you eat healthy and staying away from unhealthy lifestyle. Thank you.
Wait, let me write it so that in future, if you have maybe 0323 044 625. Okay. Let's hear from Ellen.
Hello, sister. Hey, doctor, sorry. Doctor, please, health promotion is an education we give to individuals or community to create an awareness over their health and how they can improve on their health. Hello, doctor.
Mm. 03232 36924. Did you defer? All right, so let's hear from Esther.
Hello, Doctor. Good afternoon. Please, to my understanding, health promotion is how you empower people to take control of their own health. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, let's hear from Rita. I think I will take just this one and then I move.
Hello, doctor. Please, health promotion is about educating and encouraging people to take charge of their own health. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay. The rest of us, another opportunity will come for us to also talk. Ellen's hand is still there. All right. So let's look at what health promotion is. That is Unit 6. Unit 6. Promotion of health. Promotion of health. Promotion of health. The moment people heard that I am writing names, then they decided to raise their hands. Okay, you have an opportunity again. So in this unit, we are going to look at definition of health promotion, elements of health promotion, the health promotion models, the components of health promotion action, ethical issues in health promotion, and we will draw the curtain on behavior change communication. Whether we are able to finish this or not, it is on your course outline, and therefore, wherever we reach, you will have to read. Let's look at a brief history of health promotion. A brief history of health promotion. Those of you that are writing things in the chat box, we have moved on. So, my dear, I never asked you to come to my class with Ellen Banahene. And at least, if you are using somebody's name, the person would have told you that you need to use my name, your name. She's a level 400 student. So in here, as they print the attendance for me, it will still come as Ellen Owusu Banahene. That is how it will come. So it will also still mean that you didn't attend lectures. Mumu taking Emma for granted. She knows. That your sister knows. So if you are using her phone, you should have cleaned that hair, Ellen, and write Victoria. You should have cleaned that Ellen and write Victoria. So you are on the platform with Ellen when you are called Victoria. That is how the system will capture you. So if I collect the pen, if I collect it from the IT, it will record that you didn't attend class. So we need to take things for granted, Papa. Okay, so the first international conference on health promotion was held in Ottawa in 1986. And it was a response to growing expectations for new public health movement around the world. New public health movement around the world. You still don't get it. Nobody is saying don't use anybody's phone. But whatever phone you take a decision to use, make sure, because your sister is in level 400. I don't think they even have lectures at this time. Because if they have lectures at this time, you cannot be using the person's device. So what you have done, you should have done was to write your name. Because when you enter Zoom, it gives you the opportunity to change your name. You should have done that. This one there, sorry or no sorry, your now also will blunder. And somebody too came with the iPhone and the person raised the hand. Hey, much more audacity, Papa. Boy. One phone the casada. All right. So the Ottawa Conference on Health Promotion in 1986 launched a series of action among the international organizations, and they wanted to achieve health for all by the year health for all by year 2000 and beyond. So they have added and beyond. So we cannot fault them as at 2026 if not everyone has attained health for all. And so since then, the WHO Global Health Promotion Conferences have also established and developed a global principle and action areas for health promotion. Then in November, so realize that the Ottawa Charter, so the first international conference on health promotion that was held in Ottawa in 1986 is known as the Ottawa Charter. That was the first international conference. You see, when you see these things on my slides, it means that pay close attention to them. They are not just there for fun. Pay close attention to them. And so the participants in the conference actually pledged to move into the arena of healthy public policy and to advocate for a clear political commitment to health and equity in all sectors. Then the Ottawa Charter identified 3 basic strategies for health promotion. The first one is advocacy for health, to create the essential conditions for health. Then they have the second one, which is enabling all people to achieve their full potential. And then the third one was mediating between the different interests in society in pursuit of health. And for these 3 basic strategies, they are also supported by 5 priority action areas. So the first one is to build healthy public health policy. The second one is to create supportive environments for health. The third one is to strengthen community action for health. The third one is to develop personal skills. And the last one is to reorient the health services. Then on the 20th, there was the 4th International Conference, which brought about what we call the Jakarta Declaration. The Jakarta Declaration on health promotion. And this led to health promotion in the 21st century. So the Jakarta Declaration became the new players for a new era. And they reflected on the firm commitment of participants to draw upon the widest possible range of resources to tackle health determinants in the 21st century. And the Jakarta Declaration identified 5 priorities: to promote social responsibility for health, to increase investment for health development, to expand partnership for health promotion, to increase community capacity and empower the individual, and to secure infrastructure for health promotion. And the most recent was the 9th Global Conference at the Shanghai 2016. And the title was Promoting Health in the Sustainable Development Goal, Health for All and All for Health. And this highlighted the critical links between promoting health and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And the 10th Global Conference on Health Promotion also marked the start of global movement on the concept of well-being of societies. On the concept of well-being of societies. And the WHO Charter, the WHO Charter for Health Promotion, also represents a comprehensive social and political processes that members will embrace, not only actions directed at strengthening the skills and capabilities of individuals, but also action directed towards changing social, environmental, and economic conditions. So please take note when you are reading. So what is health promotion? Health promotion is a behavioral science, social science that draws from the biological, environmental, the psychological, physical, and medical sciences to promote health and prevent diseases, disabilities, and premature death through education-driven voluntary behavior change activities. According to the Health Promotion Glossary in 1998, health promotion is the process of enabling people to increase control and to improve their health. To increase control and to improve their health. It is a move, which it is something that moves beyond the focus of individual behavior towards a wide range of social and environmental intervention. One thing about health promotion is that it recognizes that you, the individual, you value and prioritize your health and that of your neighbors, and therefore you are willing, the neighbors and yourself, you are all willing to be each other's keeper so that it will facilitate community action. Health promotion means that I am keeping my gutter in front of my house clean. You also should keep the gutter in front of your house clean. Because when I keep the gutter in front of my house clean and you don't keep the gutter in front of your house clean and you choke yours, when there is rain, even though I have cleaned mine, because yours is not flowing freely, there will be chaos and we can have flooding in the area. So health promotion believes that empowering the community has much greater health impact than empowering the individual. Do you agree? Because you will tell yourself that you will not burn unnecessary things so you don't pollute the earth, the air. If your neighbor doesn't also know this, you will be doing a course 90 work. I have a neighbor here who used to burn things 5 p.m. when all of us have come back from work. That is when the person is burning stuff. So health promotion shifts the focus from the individual to the community using empowerment with reference to social action. And when we talk of social action, we should be able to and willing to be each other's keeper so as to facilitate that social action. That is why when somebody litter about, you will have the right to tell the person to pick whatever the person threw on the ground up. We are all responsible. We are all responsible. We are all responsible. And then the aim of health promotion is actually to encourage people to behave healthily, eat healthy food, exercise regularly within the limits of their physical capabilities, to be sociable, agreeable, to be cheerful, to be helpful towards their fellow humans, and to get rest and relaxation regularly, to encourage people to behave healthfully. Manage your stress, manage your anger, manage your anger, manage your stress. Move away from things that are not healthy. Eat healthy food. Sometimes you might be eating food you think it is healthy, but it is junk. Eat healthy food. Exercise within the limits of your physical capabilities. If you can run and you can walk, walk. If you can do aerobics, do. Then be sociable. Some of us are too anti-so. When there is a party and you have time, please attend. Attend. Me and my final years, we are going to have a mega party. attend, be sociable, be agreeable, be cheerful. You are too moody. You are not carrying the world trouble on your head. You are not the only person that is having challenges. You are not the only person that is having marital issues. You are not the only person that doesn't have money. You are not the only person going through what you are going through. Serena, I can share the date with you. This is a paid party, a very classic party where people buy tables and go and sit and eat and enjoy themselves. So we cannot share. If you want to do party, organize your own party. This semester, the parties are in batches. Even if we do 10 parties, we go do them. So don't come and sponge on somebody's party. Hey. Obi etu ya nisika betina ne yihu aba bedi ne party. So be cheerful, be agreeable. Be cheerful. You see, I walk a kum sunsumo, a tisunsun so. If you're always moody, you're always sad. Hey, Auntie Akuya, be cheerful. Why? If not for anything, you have the gift of life. Hey, and yes, you are alive. Yes, you are going through a lot of challenges. Yes, but you are alive, and there is hope for you. So be cheerful. You are not carrying the more. Be cheerful. You see, if you become too moody, you are not cheerful, you are not sociable, and all the rest. That is why you cannot read to pass your exams and pass it very well. And also be helpful towards human beings. And also, yeah, when it is within your power to help people, help them. Help them. And then once a while, you need that rest and relaxation. You need that rest and relaxation. You see, I am so jam-packed. I am so jam-packed over the weekend. So Mondays, unless I have a meeting, I don't go out. Mondays, you see me lazing on my bed, watching movies. Relax. Sometimes you need that relaxation. Once a while, take yourself out. It's not like taking yourself out to go and buy something expensive, but take yourself out. Sometimes, you see, you need to move away from the environment. You need to leave the kids small and go and sit somewhere. You can even buy just a bottle of water and relax and even watch people eat. It's a form of relaxation. You can pick up a storybook. It's a form of relaxation. Watch a love story movie. Don't go and be watching gushu gushu action. No, there is time for everything. But when you want to relax, watch a romantic movie. Watch a romantic movie. You see, you need to live life. You need to relax. You see, the weekends are so choked for all of us. You there, you are just coming in to sit and listen to us. What about those of us that have been talking since morning? So you need to relax. Me, after the last lecture, which is 6 p.m. or something, I relax on my bed. And then I put on my TV and watch romantic movies. Watch romantic movies. Relax yourself. Sometimes you can even listen to music that you like. Relax. Sometimes take money and even go, even this weekend school that you are doing. You can actually, one weekend, you can actually go to a guest house or something, a hotel that you can afford. Pamper yourself. OBCA. That's all the one you have. OBCA. A. Next of kin for no the omudisika basabasa. Next of kin for. Relax yourself. There are some of us, when we take our salary. We don't even have something for ourselves. When I say relax yourself and get something for yourself, no, it's not about going to buy cloth or something. Hey, sometimes carry your own self to a cinema. You don't need a man to take you to the cinema. Carry yourself to the cinema. I have a brother. My brother, no, when he gets paid, the first day he takes his salary, no, he doesn't eat in the house. He eats out. Also, try be. The first day that your salary hits your account, for 100 CSB and I say 200 CSB, or the BBD, or walk to the place to go and sit and relax. Me, everybody that knows me knows that I like chilling. I don't have time, but I still manage to get time for myself to chill. Everyone that knows me that Obi say me pe party, me pe chilling. Chill. Tiyetua waka woto shawarma bi kura di ana ayeden. Ah? Another woje grilled catfish be with banku or fried yam. Now what na wana wudia na ayeden. Or you can even order club sandwich. Now wudia na ayeden. That one time will not kill you. Hey, the day your salary drop, no. Hey, me, as I'm sitting here, sometimes when somebody dash me money, I call that a wolf money. You know that such monies are not on budget. I call them a wolf money. So when somebody dash me money, quickly, hey, quickly I order food, or if I have the time to go there. And those of us that are in Kumasi, on a Saturday morning, if you don't have any lecture, or now that is getting to the exams week, carry yourself a week before to the exams. If there are no lectures, carry yourself on a one Saturday morning, and walk to Casa. Carry your money. Is it 300 or 350? You carry 500. They have a buffet. I think it starts from 7 or something. If you are in Kumasi, Casa, go there. Now, could the variety of things. They have the continental, they have the local, they have wache, they have anwamo, they have so many things that you can eat for, I think, 350 or so. Go there, kakre. Otherwise, a Friday, when a Friday that there is revision, no, go and sit at a place where they have live band. There, carry big money and go to Lancaster on a Friday. You get a lot of protein. There's a lot of protein to mute on whilst you listen to music. Modie Bibia, the nurses and the midwives. Now, I can children's school fees. Yeah, in children's school fees. Oh, they are now on fan send me you one. Why? Now on fan send me you one. Children's school fees, no, is the school fees not paid term by term? And so when you are paid and you take just 200 seats out of all your work and go and sit somewhere, will the school fees not be paid? But then they play. They play and be playing. Why? And Chele Ankasa never school fees you one. You see nurses and midwives selling picnic things, ice chest, MENSAH, and all these things. They buy all of them. They can't. The children that they are even paying their fees, because they can't carry them to Ratri Park with your own food. You can't carry them to Ratri Park with your own food to go and eat. You ask my kids when they were young. Hey, ya chile ya who? Ya chile. as they are even grown like this, sometimes you're chilling. Sometimes we just tell ourselves that, especially when all of us come together, we tell ourselves that, oh, this morning, dear, you better cook casa. Yeah, go to breakfast. Yeah, I'm now. Once a while, it's not every day. There are people who chill every day. I'm not talking about that. So that you can relax, especially now that we are coming to write exams. You realize that we go for the the Easter break. You go for the Easter break and then you come and you are starting exam. So use the Easter break as an opportunity. Easter Monday, go for picnic or go and sit somewhere. Good Friday, go and sit somewhere. Holy Saturday, go and sit somewhere, because at least that Saturday you are sure that there will be no lectures. Relax your mind so that you can come and tackle the examination with full vim. You can come and tackle the examination with full vim. You can come and tackle the examination with full vim. Relax. If you can actually write your exams and write it well, you need relaxation. With the debia why your as if you are carrying the world on your shoulders because you are doing top up. Hey, my dear, relax. Why? Relax. I remember when I was telling one group that they have graduated, then somebody said that we are building. And haven't you seen somebody who have finished building and the person never entered the building and the person died? Because you are building, you will not even prepare something delicious for yourself. The people that we send money to, you see, the little money that we send to them, they use it to chill. If you don't know, let me tell you. Those of us who have children, look at the phones we are carrying, adolescent children, and look at the phones they are holding, iPhones and the rest. You are holding Techno. You are holding Techno. But they are holding a lot of things. Help promotion. Let's move. Be sociable. Get rest and relaxation. I've told you, when you see me, my weekend is jam-packed from 3 p.m. on a Friday to 6 p.m. on a Sunday. So Monday, I relax. I do so business and I relax. So relax yourself. That is why sometimes you think you are learning and it is not entering. It is not entering because you are stressed up. It is not entering because you are carrying all the weight. It is not entering because you take care of everybody but yourself. It is not entering because the moment you get your salary, you think about everybody with the exception of the one who worked for the money. May say at least day one, no me see is can be no ndidi wo fie. Ndidi wo fie. Ope bibia wo kon ado ache ne di. On that day, the day you receive your salary, at least. And say, any questions at this point? Any questions at this point? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 people calling themselves Zoom users on my platform. I won't say anything because the day of reckoning is coming. Any questions at this point? Any questions, any contributions? What are you they play? These days, have you seen how they organize funerals? They organize funerals as if they are attending parties. The kind of food they will eat. And you are there. doing all the work. You go to work, you go for night duty. Sometimes you go for night duty and as if they have opened all the pregnant women to come to give birth. You are the labor ward. You don't sleep a wink. They will come and deliver and deliver and deliver and deliver. Then they pay you and you are sitting there. If you look at the percentages that you are supposed to use when you get your salary, depending on your salary, you take 10% out of as your tithe, you take 40% as house things, you use 20% to save, and then you take 10%, you take 20% for your self-development. Do you do that? For your own self-development, do you do that? You don't do pedicure, you don't do manicure, you don't keep yourself well, you don't. Hey, Sister Kuya, this is health promotion. This is health promotion. This is health promotion. This is health promotion. We say it as it is. This is health promotion. You take care of everybody but yourself. You take care of everybody but yourself. But you see, when they all leave you, it will be left with your body, yourself. So how do you treat yourself? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat yourself? Sometimes you need to give yourself a treat, oh darling. I said, go and look for a guest house. When I do that, they are laughing. Me, when I'm going for invigilation, when I go to any center, I look for at least a best hotel or guest house that I will relax. That I will relax with a fluffy duvet. You ask anybody that I've ever been to their center. I carry my money and go and get the best hotel because that invigilation is even stressful. So I want to enjoy myself whilst I'm working. To make a baby kama. Sometimes grab me breakfast kama. Kuraya MENSAH me. Me, I will not go and sleep in a hotel that is 200 Ghana cedis. There be men. Even if I have to top up with my own money to get the best relaxation. Hey, the last time I went to Koforidua for invigilation, hey, the room that I got, it was cozy, it was so nice. And they had, I don't know, they have a very big smart TV. They had a very big smart TV. I was watching Netflix and all. Hey, me enjoy me home. I didn't even go to Eastern Premier. The first time I went to Hokra the same. I went to Capital View. I enjoyed. The last time I went there, I went to a place, I think it's a new hotel. So I went there. Hey, everything was on point. I really enjoyed myself. And so please, take time. Why? Easter where you experiment. Your salary will come before the Easter. Then you get people that say, hey, I'm not working, I'm paying my fees. So then yeah, dear, yeah, jaho, yeah, cheleko. Yeah, cheleko. What the namo nefa excuse mapa. Easter, the way you call people, no, the place is choked, no, dear. I can't to me. I don't like crowd like that. As for the kwau dear, people invite me all the time, but I don't have the strength to go for that kwau. All right. So Let's look at elements. Let's look at elements of health promotion. Health promotion there, anytime we get there, people are so excited. And no crowd is saying they are mama to four. Yes, Grace, your hand is up.
Doc, please, I want to find out, is there any differences between health promotion and health education? Because we normally use interchangeable.
You see, health education is basically using the principles and practices of teaching to educate people to promote their health. You get it? It used to be health education, but now they realize that when you say health education, you are the one telling people to do something. But health promotion, you are empowering the person to be responsible for his or her own life and to take optimum control of his or her health. So when we talk of health promotion, we are also looking at something we call the health self-responsibility action. So I tell you that as a pregnant woman, you need to reduce salt intake and drink a lot of water. So I will use a teaching method that is health to educate you. That is what you people call health education. But health promotion, as I have educated you, the responsibility now lies on you, that individual, to take charge of your life. So if I tell you that you are obese and that this obesity will expose you to a lot of disease, it is your responsibility as that individual to put measures in place to change your behavior, and that is health promotion. So you realize that even these days, the new curriculum that came, it doesn't have health education. It is called health promotion. If you look at the definition of health education, it is assisting. Health promotion is also giving people the opportunity, is an art and a science of giving people the opportunity to optimize their health. And health education is using these principles and methods of teaching to assist people gain information. So this time you cannot be using it interchangeably. No. This time, even there, no cry, it was not to be used interchangeably, but they always, it was health education and promotion, and people were more silent on the promotion aspect. So the Ottawa Charter, the Jakarta Declarations, and the Shanghai all came out strongly for us to do the right thing. So you can't use them interchangeably. I hope you are okay, Grace. All right. Then let's look at the elements. Let's look at the elements. So we are looking at 3 key elements. And these elements, the first one is good governance for health. Good governance for health. When we say good governance, what does it mean? When we say good governance, what does it mean? When we say good governance, meaning of good governance. When you talk of good governance, we are looking at responsibility, transparency, and accountability to manage the public health affairs. Good governance. Good governance. Good governance. Health literacy. That's where health education comes in. Health literacy. The fact that somebody has been to school, formal school, doesn't mean that the person is health literate. You need to educate people and then healthy cities. So these are the 3 key elements of health promotion. How do we plan health promotion activity? You first of all have to identify your goal. You need to set your objectives. You need to identify your target or the population of interest. You need to identify strategies and then plan your activities, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and then evaluate your outcomes. So we realize that some of the groups, some of the teams will plan a health promotion activity. Some of the teams will manage a communicable disease, and some of the team will look at community entry, diagnosis, and mobilization. That is how we are going to roll it next week. So your groups that have been silent on, by Tuesday, you should have all the groupings there. And then I think I will now separate the teams that will be looking at health promotion activity, planning health promotion activity. Their preamble will be given. The team that will be dealing with community entry, mobilization, theirs will be given. And the team that will manage communicable disease. The communicable disease will be there and you manage them. So when we finish our presentation, you can swap your slides. So what are the health promotion models? Please go and read on them. We have what we call the health protecting behavior. We have what we call the health belief model. We have what we call the theory of planned behavior. We have what we call the resources model of preventive health behavior. And then we have health determinants model. Please read on each of them. Please read on each of them. And then, what are the components of health promotion? I already talked about it. Health promotion centers on self-responsibility approach to health problems. And the acronym is New Start. Your ability to good nutrition, your ability to exercise within the physical capabilities, your ability to have access to good water, quality of good water, and drinking the number of water that you are supposed to take a day, your ability to avoid smoking and alcohol drinking, your ability to manage your stress, relax, and having basic trust are all components for health promotion action. They are all components for health promotion action. Trust. Those of us who say that me, I don't trust anybody, you get palpitations, ubenya hypertension. When you tell your husband that you are going to work, the man trusts that you are going to work. Why is it that when you tell him, when he tells you that he's going somewhere, why are you monitoring him? Why are you eavesdropping his calls? Why? Some of us, when their husband gets calls, hey, yeah, what you don't know won't kill you. So don't go about finding things. The reason why you are so down, you see, my mother will tell you, it is another thing knowing that your husband is having a side chick. But if you push yourself to find out the side chick that your husband is going out with, sister, who? Because they always go for things that we are not. You always go for things that we are not. If you are fair, your husband will go for a dark one. If you have plenty backside, he will go for somebody with flats. So I keep telling people that don't go and ask a man. Definitely the person that the man is, you don't have. There are certain things you don't have. But once you sit in the trotro that you don't know the trotro driver, but you are able to believe that the trotro driver will take you to your destination, you should have a basic trust for the man you are going out with. Whether the person is your husband or your partner, you need to have that basic trust. You see, that trust is for your peace, so it's not for them. That is one thing people don't know. At the workplace, you are trusting the team that you are working with. It is for your peace. Why are you going to check your husband's phone? That's ube because these days there are girls that even go and chat with your husbands that they don't have anything to do with them, but they create messages to make it look as if they are having a relationship. Drop that yarn. I mean, you see, when you trust somebody and the person breaks the trust, it's so on the person. It's so on the person. You need to design strategies to live a happy life. Into what the things that we are teaching you, you don't understand. You are not even concentrating because you are thinking about your husband. Somebody's grown up man that has come to marry you. Somebody's grown up man that has come to marry you. You are seriously monitoring him. And whether you monitor a man or you don't monitor a man, and the man want to go and have side check, o partner the car front, nante, one will be back. Mesu will be back a chimpana. You see, learn to trust people you are in relationship with. Even at work, the entire dream why you have it that no everybody at the workplace and they don't like you. Me, is it my business? You went there to work. Do your work. And to both now who said midwife for me and to now Yama should say brim because you think they are talking about you, my dear. If they cannot talk about you in front of you and they talk behind you, that is your back case. Cultivate that lifestyle. It's your back case. Me, I don't even have time to say, well, I know what's as I know, but what do I care? We came to work. So when I meet you on the set, oh, hello, you're quite baby. Do we care? But you are going to sit down and be calculating all these things. Oh, yes, some women are really dying and they need strategies. You need strategies. Otherwise, you will die and leave your kids. And this same man will go and get another woman and will maltreat your kids. You need strategy. Happy yourself. It is not easy. I will not tell you that it is easy. I will take say brim. When somebody the conconsa people too, they will always come and do conconsa. So they will come and tell you, hey, I saw your husband with so and so. William do say brim. And then your CID, you see your CID skills come, investigation skills. You would want to know the woman. Sister, if you go and get to know the woman, you'll be disappointed. So don't go and look for the woman. I'm telling you, the woman is everything you are not. Will get disappointed and never marry. That's how to ask. Hey, I met to say, sister, I want to hear. And it's about time women also accept that when the men go for other women, it is not because of you. If you realize that you don't dress well, start to say what dressy, start to say what happy yourself, but enjoy the name. And Kwaka say because of I did this, say we have people who do everything for their husband, but they still cheat. So Nkwaji same way, ma. Live your life. Live your life. Live your life. But life. Afe sha say what dress it, nya taste. Dress it. Happy yourself. When you go home, put on music and dance ankasa. Sama honto. If you want to watch movie, watch. And take away men's stress. As for men, they will always stress us. They will always stress us. And we women, we think that marriage is the end. We think that marriage is the end. I beg. That is why you are even topping up your degree. That's why you are topping up your degree. Sister, drop the yam. Don't go and be looking at people's phones. Don't sit and be thinking about people. No. You have life. Live it to the fullest. Live it to the fullest. When some of us tell you the kind of things we go through or we face, you like, hey, and then you are like this. You have to happy yourself and be like yourself and move on. Obi ba or no when you can you change anybody? Nobody can change anybody except God. Get it, know it, and be free. Know it and be free. You can never change anybody who doesn't want to be changed. The best thing you can do for somebody is to pray for that somebody and make sure you live right with the person. Even if the man has side chicks, prepare food for the man to come and eat. Because as you are no longer nagging, as you are no longer saying anything, no musuru. The men are always afraid of women who are silent. Because when you are silent, they don't even know your next move. But when you keep talking about him, there is this woman that the husband went and slept out and came the next morning. The husband has waited that the woman is not saying anything. So the husband was very uncomfortable. No, say the order. And no make that baby. Why are you not saying anything? And the woman told him that, Master, these days I'm robbers and all these people. So if you went and by God's grace, God has brought you back to the house, why should I be talking? I have to even thank God for keeping you safe out there and bringing you back safely to your family. But it's because some of us, we talk. And so when you are talking, you are pushing them away. Me say for silent killing. The man will be sitting on the bed looking at your face like this. Because you have shocked him. Sometimes they think they can predict us. Make yourself unpredictable. They say you don't want to so one say something. You don't want to one nareka. If you want to cry, whatever the person is doing, if it's painful and you want to cry, allow him to go out or share them to because when they see that whatever they are doing is paining you, they do it more. And when you are silent, And it takes a wise woman to be silent. I'm telling you. It takes a wise woman to be silent in the midst of challenges, cheating. So it's health promotion. You start. Manage your stress. Relax. Enjoy yourself. See you, God willing, next Sunday, where we try to do presentations and then talk about behavior change communication. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and have a great start to the week ahead of you. To all my Muslim students, I say, Baraka de Salah in advance. Enjoy your Salah, and God keep us all safe as we come back next Sunday. Have a very good evening.